I find this very therapeutic, you guys, to make videos. Somehow putting the things into words, even though it's a bit halting and it's a bit difficult sometimes, to me, it really works. It just makes me feel so much better. Like I said earlier, at some point I felt like, just chucking the whole thing into the canal and just forgetting about the past, which isn't something I can really do really easily. It's not done yet. I forgot to mention the Mercury position that I have is right between the moon positions of my parents, respectively in Cancer and in Leo. I have planets in Cancer as well, and my sun is in Leo. So from all that, it makes perfect sense for me to try and integrate those two perspectives, right? The perspective of connection, I would say, for Cancer, connection to family, to surroundings, to nature, a very direct and even physical connection, as well as the perspective of the individual or the individualist, the self coming to the surface in the sign of Leo. All that is sort of slowly starting to dawn on me. And I have said this before, so just, let your attention wander freely if you've heard this before. But my parents were born two days apart, so the 20th and the 22nd of April in 1934. So that's one reason why I am so fascinated by astrology this much, because they had almost the same horoscope, the same planetary positions anyway, apart for the moon. And of course they had different ascendants and different houses and all that. And one thing that that has actually explained to me the significance of the houses, because to my mother, her Sun, Mars, Uranus conjunction, stellium as they call those things, those groupings, was positioned in the 12th house. To my father, I don't know his birth time really, so I've just had to sort of feel, hypothetically, I have a bit of an idea what it could be. And then the whole thing to him would have been in like the 5th house or something like that. So there's a big difference there. To my father, to express some of that tension and some of those, some of the drama that comes from having that stellium, would have been easier to express or easier to access anyway. Not that it did him any good, really, but to my mother it was all hidden. And I think I can see that. I can see how it would have worked that way for her. So that's just a bit of a, tiny bit of an add-on to the previous video, really. I'm just trying to not, not sit here and whine about my parents the whole time. That just doesn't make sense. There was one other thing that I wanted to go into, which I think is rather a new perspective on astrology. I was thinking that the way a horoscope comes to us is really through the earth. Maybe you like that idea, I don't know. Because in my meditation videos, or at least some of them, I have gone into how we can physically sort of, concentrate, focus on the aura around us, like that, okay? And as we're sitting there, there's a line going from our the bottom of our spine, our bottom, right, into the earth, through the earth star chakra, and down into the earth to the core of the earth itself. So I've been talking about that for a bit, and I do that type of meditation fairly regularly just to, you know, see whether all the energies are flowing nicely, and whether when there's blockages, I tend to sort of react badly to that. So I have to go in and see whatever it is I can do about it. And then I sort of started to, I don't know, the end of last week or something, to link up the two approaches, I should say. So the approach to energy work, okay, where the person, each and every human being, anyway, maybe it'll also go for animals, but it'll be different, right? And I wouldn't know. At the moment, I wouldn't really be able to say anything about it. I am quite positive that every living creature, also a garden snail or a bug or a fly, has a grounding. It has a manifestation on earth. It has an energy that it obtains from the earth, and it is being sustained by the earth, etc., and etc. So that makes sense, I think. So for humans, we're of course most directly involved with human interactions and human energies, right? So how about that? That's the energy that we get from the earth the moment we are born. So the moment our feet hit the ground, really, metaphorically speaking, we separate ourselves from the grounding of our mother, okay? When we are born, our physical embodiment becomes separate from her. The umbilical cord is cut, and from then on, we have our separate existence. And how about that moment being realized, really? Because the energy